It's hard to understand why you get out of Cuba if you are not there, doing a line of 3-4 hours to get a piece of chicken, to get anything. You gotta be there to believe it, because it's something in this country you won't put in your head that you have to after 7 years old in Cuba, you don't have milk for a kid. You are not allowed to have milk for a kid. If you raise any of your cows or any of that, that's the government. That's not yours. You gotta. It's political. You cannot express yourself. There's thousands of people right now waiting 20-30 years because I went to protest in the street. That 11th of July on 2021, and that's the country that I went out of.
Wow.
Yeah. This is not a getting a better life that went out of that. How to survival mode. This is how to survive, because there's nothing in Cuba. If you have if you're selling sugar, you need a permit. A permit is that you have the 90% of the government, you have the 10%. I'm telling you, a doctor in Cuba makes $30. I can talk to my cousin. My cousin right now, she's a doctor. She's 26 years old, a doctor, graduated doctor. She's making $30 a month. She doesn't live there because her father is sick, you know. But I'm telling you, you're wasting your time and all of your knowledge for a country that will never appreciate you. You come here, even though here she's being as a nurse, not as a doctor. She would make way more than what she's doing now there. You cannot express yourself. You cannot go out and say, I don't think this is a country that need a change, because the word change, that means jail. Change means jail. You cannot go out. This is a reality in Cuba. You can get in the internet and look it up. If you go out dressed in white, you are protesting and you will go to jail. That's a reality. That's nothing that I'm making up. If you go out as a white, you're protesting, you go to jail. It's like in the United States. Why they never take this country? Because America, they got guns, right? So if something happened with the government, they gotta kill the Americans because you will defend this country, right? You got guns to defend it. In Cuba, you don't got a knife. In Cuba, if you got a gun, you will send 30 years to jail. And that will be, they put you as an example. You will be 30 years in jail. It's not that 15 or like here, you will go out for 10 and you will go out by 5. No. You will go out by political stuff in Cuba and you will make the time that will put you. Like I said, these kids in Cuba that didn't want to protest, do protest. They didn't do nothing. They're facing 15, 20 years. They will make it though. They will stay there as an example for the young generations. And this is how these people have been in the government for so long. And there people are in the power right now. They're just, empowering themselves. It's like China is how do you call it? A dynasty. That's what it is. It's the dynasty of the Castros. It's now Castro. Now he's how do you call this guy? His grandson. He's who's running the country. He just put a puppet there. Raul, his brother, just put a puppet there. So no, it's not the Castros. It's the same as China. It's a dynasty. I remember that I woke up in the morning and there was only water and sugar for breakfast. That was my breakfast. For my daily breakfast was water and sugar. Yeah. Remember that I was sent to the store to get the bread, 4 pieces of bread for a whole day. 4 pieces of little bread for a whole day. I remember my mother trying to do magic because they give you this. It's like a book that you're supposed to have for the month, and she used to erase stuff. The police used to knock at the house. Oh, what are you doing this? The police used to raid the house. Come on, let me know what it is. They used to come, take me aside. I was a kid, dude. How are you gonna do that to a kid? They used to take me aside. Oh, come on, I know what's going on. Just let me know, because my stepfather, he was against the government. Right? That guy, he was like 20 years in jail. He got his cornea is all over the eye. They kick him out of his. Well, he used to kill cows. I remember he used to wake me at 4 in the morning. We eating meat today. At 4 in the morning. That's the time you gotta cook it because nobody can smell it. It's another life. Today, you're a kid eating steaks at 4 in the morning like crazy. And that's the only time that you can eat it. Next morning, you're going back to a regular life. No, I'm eating meat. I'm gonna have, they're gonna come here to raid the house. I was ready in my mind. And they used to come raid the house. I was a kid and they tried to take information. And my parents said, you cannot tell them nothing. So I raised myself with that mentality. Don't say nothing. Don't talk to nobody. Don't say nothing you're not supposed to say. And now that I'm a grown person, I know why I'm like this. It can maybe be the most not important stuff. That you do, this guy, you done it on his back, and we laughing. And he asked me, "Hey, did Dave tell you something?" And I will stay quiet. It's a trauma that I got, and now I realize it. I grew up thinking not talk to the government, or they used to tell me, "Hey, try to take information as a kid. Hey, you don't have to smell anything weird." And I already knew I never had a time to be a kid. That's what happened to me, and I never realized it. Communists, they steal my childhood. They steal my childhood, and I don't regret it because it's my life, but it's just unbearable to think that you wake up in the morning and you don't have light in Cuba. You got light for 2 hours, 1 hour, and all day you stay with no light. The government takes it up, and then they send you a bill at the end of the month. Why are they the same? Yes. Now things are worse than when I went out of Cuba. Things are way worse now than when I went out of Cuba. I remember that I was 11 years old, and I already have 4 more attempts. We already tried to cross the sea, but we got caught and sent back by the same government inside of Cuba. But what happened is that this time we have everything set. I pushed everybody to the woods. I knew the way. I was a kid. I used to run. That was my place. So I put everybody inside the boat. We load up everything. We take off. We stay. I remember we stayed in this island for about a couple of hours. When it went darker, we went to the sea, of the open sea. Out in the open sea, I will never forget that. The waves were tall as a building. We stay in the water for like a week. Then we had about rough weather, and we went to the island called Marquesas, and we stayed in Marquesas for another week. Then we went out of there because the time was clear, and we went out of there, and we got another bad time. We ran out of water, we ran out of food, and we got rainwater. With the rainwater, we lasted our trip for about 3 more days. We ran out, and when we were out with no water, no food, we seen a big ship, those container ships. And then one of the guys got so desperate because we didn't have any water, no food, and he got a machete and he started hitting our own boat. He started hitting the boat so we can get rescued. We flipped the boat. Thank God that those people came back and rescued us. If we would have left there, we wouldn't be here today.
Were you scared in the boat?
I was naive because I was a kid. You know, I was seeing everything as an adventure. I remember this. This is what I got this tattoo here as a shark. I remember we got the big ass shark under the boat. I never forgot that. He used to scratch. I don't know. Maybe he liked it to scratch his fin in the boat all day. He would do it all day. And my stepfather, he was driving the boat. He said, "Don't throw nothing in the water. Don't put your hands in the water." We were freaked out. He was under us for 3 days. He was as long as the boat.
Oh.
He was the long as the boat, but he never tried. He could. I tell you, he could flip it if he can. But he never tried nothing. He used to stay there scratching the. I never forget that. That's the only time that I feel fear. That was the only time that I think that my life was. And when I see those waves, you know, my old boat was 11 people from here to there. That was the boat. We were 11 people sitting here, and man, I was seeing that. I was seeing those waves because you seen those waves out there that you really gotta go in one and go in another one. One mistake is your life. You are so. That's why I understand. That's why a lot of Cubans lose their lives because it's not the same. Oh yeah, we're going to the United States, and then when you get in there, that's when you know. That's when reality. You don't know about that. That's the difference. You really gotta know what you're doing because not anybody can get us a boat and come here. That's why so many Cubans have lost their lives in the sea. You know. So after there, they call the Coast Guard. They say no in the Coast Guard. The Coast Guard. I was in the Coast Guard for another week, and that week they sent us to Guantanamo Bay. I was in Guantanamo Bay for 3 years. I got sent to Nicaragua, and after Nicaragua, I crossed all of the borders here. So I know I was in the sea. I was sent to Nicaragua, and I have to cross all of the borders to get here. In Nicaragua was 3 years. It took me to cross all of those borders back here. And I was in Mexico. I remember in Mexico, I was 3 months in Mexico, and they gave me this paper that I got 10 legal days to abandon the country wherever I wanted to go. So what I did is I went as a tourist to this lane that it was the United States, and back in the days, the Cubans got the right to stay here. It was the dry food and the wet food politics. So that's how I got to this country. This is my story. I was in the sea, and it's crazy how many people have lost their lives, and try to come here for a better life.
Yeah.
Like I said, some people made it to the sea for one time, and some people they go on a plane to Nicaragua and made it here. But I have to be in the sea. I have to be in Guantanamo. I have to get sent to Nicaragua. I have to cross all the borders. So I know how everything is. Yeah, it was hard, but I love it here. There's nothing that they want. That's why my country is not free yet, because there's nothing that they cannot take from there. If not, Cuba would be free long time ago.